Let's do it. Let's propagate now.
I'm ready to roll.
Says he's doing some sort of a podcast. It's pretty suspicious if you ask me.
If you see something, say something.
On Maynard.com.au. Hey, you! Hello, is that Mr. Adam Curry?
Yes, the one and only. Oh, hold on one second. I'm just about to do an interview with ABC in Australia. Good deal, baby. I'll see you later. Bye. Love you. Bye. Maynard.
Hello, you're talking to John C. Dvorak there.
Yeah, when I say I love you, you know it's me and John, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have on the line a man who is known as the Lone Wolf, a former Soviet spy, Mr. Adam Curry, who is the co-host of the No Agenda show with John C. Dvorak in the morning, one of the greatest podcasts you could ever listen to, and their mission is none other than to change reality itself. Hello, Adam.
In the morning to you, Maynard. Always nice to hear you explain everything about me.
Was that kind of right? Was that what I was saying there? Was that your life in one sort of little intro?
I'll take it. You know, I've done a lot. I consider myself a media assassin more than anything these days, though, to be quite honest.
Now, people hear the word assassin and they think, ooh, violence. Now, not necessarily so.
I've been in media all my life. I started in radio when I was 15, and I grew up in Amsterdam, actually, and worked on pirate radio there for a while, and a hospital closed circuit station, which is great because the audience isn't going anywhere. And when I was 19, I got my first gig on television doing a music show in the Netherlands called Countdown, which is actually interesting because, of course, some of your listeners will remember Molly from Countdown in Australia.
Huge, legendary show here, too, yeah.
And then MTV in the U.S., I am American by birth. MTV in the U.S. saw me, and they asked me to come and work for them, and I moved to New York in '87 and spent about almost 8 years on air at MTV in the United States, and then left and then went into business. I've always had a parallel life of a geek, kind of, a hybrid between a media person and an engineering technical person. I'm not a great programmer or anything or developer, but I understand the concepts, and I'm pretty good at communicating back and forth between the two worlds. The past year, in 2007 it is now, I started having Skype conversations with a gentleman I'd met in San Francisco where I just started a company. His name is John C. Dvorak. He's a little bit older than I am. No one knows exactly how old he is. He's a very well-known tech journalist. But he's a very interesting guy. He's held a number of crazy positions throughout life, has a lot of knowledge, also just life experience.
He's seen Jimi Hendrix more than once live.
Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of guy he is. So he has tons of interesting stories. Not a lot of people like him.
And Sarah Palin's never been anywhere. She's pretty much of a local girl that just has never seen anything. So you get no confluence of ideas. You're just kind of you're a local yokel. And they want that to be the president. You don't want that to be the president. You want somebody that's smarter than you to be the president, not somebody dumber than you to be the president.
Because he's kind of misunderstood, and I think we both kind of we were drawn to each other in that regard. We like chatting, and one day I said, we chat, once a week on Skype. I said, why don't we record that and make it a podcast, and people can listen in, because I think there's some interesting stuff. It's about politics. It's about food. He's a judge in wine contests, and that is fascinating. And we didn't always agree on stuff. And it's nice when you're arrogant like me and when you're arrogant like him and there's someone who's saying, you're full of crap.
Often I get the feeling John will say something just to wind the other people up.
So I'm going to tell everybody out there listening to this show that California, for some years now, has become the Amsterdam of the United States. If you are a weed or dope smoker, I would recommend to move to California.
Yes, and he admits to that. He's quite famous for being an anti-Mac person, which I've found out, and he's actually admitted to this publicly as well, that he would really do that just to wind up the the Apple fanboys. These days, actually, I know that he possesses a couple of Apple Macintoshes and likes the product. He might have liked it all along. But he was actually famously the guy who said, this thing with the mouse, I don't think it'll take off.
He's someone that's also been handy throughout your life and some of the experiences you've had that haven't been positive to help you through them, as well as a guy that's been around a bit longer.
It's interesting you say that. Yes, we don't speak outside of our podcast. That's one of the rules we have, and it's part of the media experience. If you say, hey, let's talk about this, or, oh, I was thinking about that, when you try to replicate that on air, you never get the same response. It never comes out the same way, and it kind of sucks. So whenever I've said to him, no, you're kind of like a brother or an older brother or a father figure, he hangs up. He doesn't like hearing that.
On Maynard.com.au. Hey, you!